We begin with a story about a country singer who wears black on stage, performs songs about life's challenges, has battled substance abuse, and had run-ins with the law. No, I'm not talking about the late country legend Johnny Cash. This outlaw is someone fairly new to the music industry who hopes one day to make a big impact on audiences.
Last time that I talked to you, you told me not to call you up no more.
William Henry Young Jr., better known as Wild Bill Young, knows how to belt out a traditional-style country tune.
I'm gonna knock back on your door.
In Arnold in September of 2012, Young and his group, the Outlaws, competed in the Missouri State Finals of the Texaco Country Showdown, the nation's biggest country music talent search. While he didn't win, Young is gaining a following. His love of country came by way of his late father, who worked as a trucker.
He wasn't a formally educated man, but just a very kind person. To be of an intimidating stature, his size was really large, but he was gentle as he could be.
Young's mother, who has a Ph.D. in education, is retired from the St. Louis public schools. Young grew up on a private street in University City, but you wouldn't have known it by the time he was a teenager. Young's moniker, Wild Bill, has nothing to do with country music and everything to do with his misspent youth. He masqueraded as a kid from a broken home and hung out on the streets with the wrong crowd. At just 14, he was arrested and charged as an adult with armed robbery. Young says he and a friend took their father's pistols to hold up a local convenience store. Luckily, there were no bullets in either gun. The court went easy on Young, he says, because he had a good lawyer and good manners.
And we just went to the neighborhood convenience mart where there was a young lady in there working. She kept telling the police department, she kept telling the detectives, she kept telling the judge. She actually came to court to testify on my behalf, to say that this kid did not know what he was doing. He was asking for candy and Doritos. I think I got 2 Almond Joys and a bag of Doritos running out of there. And she was telling the judge and everything. And that's why I think they went a little easier on us.
Young was sentenced to 1 year in prison and 5 years probation. He could have received a 20-year term. Years would go by before songwriting would pull Young's life together. He was 33, coming down off an alcohol and cocaine bender, sitting in the basement of his mother's house watching TV. The program was the Grand Ole Opry.
I was looking at my life and I was saying, I've got to do something to change the way things are going too. And I said, because I never make it like this. And then I said, well, what is it? I started thinking about people always telling you, well, whatever you're going to do, you need to do something that you love to do. And so I said, well, I've always loved to sing, and I've always planned to be a singer from a kid. But, you just don't plan something like that. But, I think I've dreamed of it. So I started writing. I pulled out the paper right there at 4 in the morning. And I said, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to write a country song, and I'm going to sing country music, because there's not too many people doing it, especially from St. Louis, where I'm from. And I said, and this will be something that my dad will be proud of. This will be something that's challenging enough to keep my attention. And I know it'll be something that's challenging enough to make me proud if I succeed. So I wrote the song, Next Train to Nashville, and it's like God sent the song right to me, because I never wrote a country song in my life.
Next Train to Nashville became the title track of Wild Bill Young's debut CD, released in September 2013. Some of Young's tunes are layered with other genres like pop, hip-hop, and reggae to appeal to a broad audience. But he says he's not reinventing the wheel here.
If you look at Taylor Swift, you look at a lot of Rascal Flatts, you look at Jason Aldean. If you'll look at Big and Rich, they're throwing what I consider to be the hip-hop sound in all of these songs. And if you look at, the main thing is, if you just watch country music videos right now, all the top names, Trace Atkins, everybody's rapping.
We should all come together when trouble comes around.
On YouTube, you'll find a video of Young's tune, Helping Hand. Its message is to reach out to others in times of trouble. Young says he wants to write songs that spark dialogue and, in this case, spark action. Young put his money where his lyrics are in May of 2013 when he recorded a song to benefit the animal welfare organization Stray Rescue of St. Louis.
Just asking him, so, do you like dogs? Has just turned into this miraculous event.
Stray Rescue's Marion Endress saw a Wild Bill Young performance, friended him on Facebook, then gave him a tour of Stray Rescue's facilities.
He offered his services in whatever way he could, and it's just blossomed. I've never been a big fan of country. I grew up in New England, and when I heard his spin on country music, it just added a whole new dimension to country music.
23 degrees at 8:50. You stay right there because we got more headed your way. You know we love to play those new country artists for you first.
Mike Thomas is show host and program director at country radio station KFAV-FM in Warrenton. The station sponsors the Texaco Country Showdown in Missouri, where Wild Bill Young made a good impression.
Because we in radio, we like to think that we're very important, and we are to an artist's career, but we aren't the end-all be-all. And you have to have that on-stage charisma to connect with the fans and make them feel like you're a part of what you're doing. And Bill had that from the get-go. When I watched him on stage the first time, here again, that's part of this showdown. It's not just how you sound. That's part of it, but it's also how you present yourself on stage. And are you marketable? And he has that marketability that connects with the fans.
African-American roots in country music stretch back to its very origins. For instance, look at the banjo, which is a mainstay of country and bluegrass. The earliest versions were crafted in the American colonies by Africans and patterned after African instruments. Slaves who wrote music on those banjos heavily influenced the development of country. Fast forward to the 20th century. An Alabama street musician named Rufus T-Tot Payne mentored a young Hank Williams Sr. Contemporary black country performers like Charlie Pride and Darius Rucker are familiar even to people who don't follow country music. But have you heard of DeFord Bailey? He was born in 1899 and was just 3 years old when he started playing the harmonica. Bailey's tunes eventually took him to stardom in the 1920s. He was the first African-American musician to perform on the Grand Ole Opry and was inducted posthumously into the Country Music Hall of Fame in 2005. Wild Bill Young admires greatly the work of Bailey and appreciates how all his predecessors have paved the way for him. Young has been the opening act for Chuck Berry, and he's working on a tour. All in all, a good start for an artist who hopes to make his mark in the 21st century.
I let you know right up front, it's the most important thing in the world to me, what we do, this music.
Thank you.